There you go.
Oh, I'm front and center. Oh wait, did I not do that right?
No.
Okay, can you leave?
Yeah. I think you can just.
Yeah. You click on these and go like that. It's a different day. Here, hold up, let's do this. I'll put you back. Yeah, you're there. Sweet.
Your vision. Unforgettable concerts, festivals. Say hello to the new National Western Center. Explore NWC, taste growth flavor team. Say hello to the new National Western Center. Explore what.
You're not sharing. Okay. cold in here. Oh my goodness. I know.
Say hello to the new National Western Center.
Right? I heard it's gonna get up to 90 degrees this week. I'm like crying already.
Yeah, I'm not being good.
No, and winter is my favorite season, so I'm like, I got ripped off this year. I didn't get a good deal on winter.
I agree with you. Winter has been growing on me the last couple of years.
Senator.
This year.
Oh, no, it's bigger.
Yeah, like where's the snow?
Yeah, it's already growing next.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like this.
Bigger,
And
better.
then we get summer this week,
Yeah, I know.
and then maybe back to spring, but yeah.
Remind me, I'll be right back.
Oh, wow. I know what it is.
There we go.
Caroline,
There you go.
nice to meet you, Rico.
Hey, Alexi, is there power?
Explore what moves you,
Caroline, how are you?
Oh,
Nice
nice
to meet
to
you.
meet you.
Alexi.
Hi. The handshake. Whoa, look at that girl.
Lexi, how you doing?
Hi, how
Good
are
to
you?
see you.
Yeah.
Hey, Lexi, how are you?
Of course, yeah.
See, Caroline, you would have stood up, you would have got the professional side.
I should have stood up. What was I
Yeah, you-
thinking?
Space and that's the way you do it. Now, Steve, oh, that's.
Was it supposed to be?
Well, I know, we were just talking.
Yeah, my beloved winter.
Like that? What's new in your world?
I also like, I love snow, but I just love the dark days
Yeah.
about it. and
Yeah.
I used to hate that.
Debrief meeting.
For a hot minute, I lived in Alaska.
Right.
In Lausanne.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like too early. You still get enough daylight to melt the snow most days.
Yeah, last week I was really thrown off, though. I was like.
Aren't they all the?
Yeah, it's nice, you know,
Yeah.
it's like really close to the,
You're right.
you know, it's still being daylight.
Wow.
Yeah. Daylight savings time is just,
Yeah.
I don't care for it.
taste global flavors,
Got 2 years. A little more 2 years to go.
Here.
Better? Wow.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we get more snow this month and next month, because it's supposed to be our snowiest months, but I'm like, I don't know if you guys mean, there's no word. Yeah. Okay.
Here's what.
Oh, not good, not good at all.
I'm awesome. But you was. Fire from.
I love that sweater. Gosh, they make some show these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be nice this afternoon.
It'll be lovely.
Hey,
Oh, are you
They
like
got
that?
great leadership as far as the mayor.
Oh,
yeah, everybody, yeah, they're all, they got it all. They're all really good. They got it all. They'll figure it all out. Man. Wow. You're good. Oh, wow.
Yeah. All good.
No, it's just telling people like.
Can you see the presentation?
For 80 degrees. I know. Yes. Okay. I love that when you said it.
You're working through bylaws, got a bylaw task force, that's very nice.
Oh, my goodness.
If they'll all be good. Then seems that.
If she's taking the connector, it might be too late. Yeah. Yeah, cause last time I booked it like almost an hour before I needed to be here and it was still like, oh, you'll be 10 minutes late.
And it jumps from like 7 minutes to,
Yeah, and I was like, perfect, I'll be on time, and then it sat at like 2 minutes, and then it jumped up to 12 minutes, I was like,
I would-
we'll be 10 minutes late.
But, overall, 80, really great.
I'm like, are you kidding me? No.
That's some of the response was huge. Everybody loved it. There was no program, it was just.
Hi.
Howdy.
Good. Yeah.
See.
How are you?
How are you?
Thank you. It's about time for me to change it up now. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I always decide like right when I go there.
Somebody's told me yesterday, they're like, hey.
usually always hot, but when I walk out, like,
At 9:30 it is. Quite late.
Adrian, your bag matches my cup. It would go perfectly, it's a matching set.
About.
That's
Yes.
better.
I'm over there, all right.
In a good place.
When I was there, I thought that was a good time. I thought I didn't know that three.
So I think they're next year.
Traffic better. What about all? In fact, when it's saying it was 3 or 4,
Call
we already said it was something.
Yeah.
34 miles. I got coffee at your voice there, but that's how long we're on. Those batteries are. Good for. Good. Choose the gamble.
Yeah.
I would really.
Yeah.
That late. So we're not gonna get one. I'll do this thing when I'm like, but this,
Awesome.
And I tried that.
fertilizer costs and I'm just.
And they were cool with the idea of like, when maybe the.
This year. Okay, we have four, I just saw that you said.
You're the quorum, yeah.
Well, I think it's just.
Yeah, I went and got the superfood salad, and I didn't realize it was sitting right by us, so I'm like. Anyone who's online is just the breakfast menu. Right, I'm like, I hope nobody has that exhibit symphonia where they hate the sound of doing, and here I am, like. A lot of people have it, I'm like, lucky that I don't, like, lucky whoever's like listening right in.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
You're out. Let's do. What? Let's do it. It's like.
The fit.
That's classy. Wow. Go. You're from the city. Well. Yeah. Okay, we have a forum. Let's go ahead and get started. This is a review. I think Saunders is supposed to be here in person. Let's see, we have Mitzi. Mitzi online, you're down here. Basketball, Arizona. Mr. Mosier, you there? We got Mitzi, we got Ernest.
Here.
I think the one person we're waiting for is Sandra, correct? And maybe we back from Robin.
He should be in prison.
Okay, great, thanks. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the action item in the packet and Alexis sent out, including all the minutes from the February 16th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Second. Any comment, conditions or changes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Great. Chair report, during executive session today, we will talk about the update on the search committee and let you all know what's going on. And we'll do that during executive session today. Nothing else from the chair? Oh, yeah, I guess. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's play it out. Hey, there, Brad, I'll come. Rico is the, will be the chancellor July of 27. Great. Rico has a long history with CSU, actually chaired the CSU board. He had the hardest job in the world. He actually was superintendent of Laura Public Schools and did a fantastic job. So now, first I met Rico, he was the Department of Regulatory Agencies in the builder. And obviously, I guess I chair of the CSU board alone. So Rico, did I miss anything?
Good enough.
Would be a great addition to this organization, so I couldn't be happier. Obviously, Tony's the legend. We choose to build a Rico as could not have made a better pick than Rico learned. So thanks, Rico. Good to have you. Thanks, Steve. Brad, I will turn over to you for the CEO. Thanks.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. I don't know what's going on with the format.
So first piece, and just kind of update on facilities. We will do a brief update on the Veteran Center in executive session today. The farm box. The farming container that is out just north of the SYC is growing food. There's peek in the window there, and it's a pretty neat partnership with Focus Points and their Huerta Urbana program, and we have GS resident farmers who are farming it, and the goal being that eventually it will be a full circle that those greens will be served on this campus, we hope. But really exciting partnership with Focus Points and Centura Health, and been a long time coming in, and a complicated thing to get done to a real success. Up north parking structure, I'm sure Doug and Wes can talk a little bit about that in your update. And we're still working on, it's an interesting topic for everybody, on cell tower solutions. How we get better cellular campus. We pursued an approach of putting a cellular antenna inside the water tower. That is not going to work out because there requires too many modifications to the exterior of that historic asset. So that is not going to work out. We're looking at another opportunity, partnership with CSU actually, and but we will have that solved. But we don't have it solved today.
Was the internet better during this year's talk show? Was not, okay, I just want
I don't know, I wasn't here, but it wasn't good. I wasn't here last year, I'm sorry this year.
we need to get that resolved.
Yeah. Events, there is a ton happening. Mile High Hunt and Fish is setting up right now. There's a massive expo going on in there. Denver Home Show is comes in right after that. Archdiocese is doing a big event. Denver Card Show comes back in. They think all of Expo. Rocky Mountain Gem Show got a fight coming in to the arena. There's just, it is back to back right now and super exciting. The 26 bookings are strong, and I will tell you what's exciting is 27 bookings are 2x what we've got for 26. Sales team's doing a really bang up job for us right now.
Oh, sorry. Right, you go, Doug?
Just a quick question, what's the paper fashion show?
I don't have all the details on that one yet, but it is it's a nonprofit fundraiser. They're doing some kind of paper fashion, everything fashion.
People wear
paper.
papers.
Yeah.
It's from an organization called One Club. They're international. Check them out. They're really interesting. And they do this event. It's a fundraiser thing, but they do this thing where they create outfits out of paper. For I assume one-time use. They don't want. But cool. It's kind of a big deal. I think it's great.
It's the hunting and fishing show downtown convention center before.
Yes.
And how does Visit Denver feel about the fact that it's?
The partnership with Visit Denver has been fantastic. I mean, and this has been a long time coming, because we were really all part of the regional International Western Center. There are a lot of shows, well, let me back up. The Colorado Convention Center has the issue was that they didn't, Visit Denver didn't see the Colorado Convention Center operating at its highest efficiency. Joe knows way more about this. He ran it. But when they built the expansion, the idea was that they could go back to back shows versus having a load in. This is what Richard used to tell me. They had a load in an event, then a load in out, then a load in an event versus having an event to an event to an event. And there were smaller events happening at the convention center. Perfect size for us, smaller for them. So Joe, why don't you talk a little bit about the list of events that they have wanted to.
Yeah, so a bulk of public shows happen in the first quarter, typically first, second quarter. That's because those are the what times they're trying to get their sales. Boat show, RV show, all those shows. It's also a prime time that Visit Denver wants to capitalize on rooms and hotels, which has been lacking slightly. So the idea is to shift a lot of those public shows that are two halls, three halls. So shows like the Garden and Home Show have been shrinking slightly, so they're able to pivot now, right, to and then insert conventions into those spaces that are more heads and beds over there. So that idea has kind of been in the works for a while. Some other key ones that they are looking to shift out just because they don't supply the heads and beds is Great American Beer Fest, auto shows looking to pivot. And those shows have been in the loop with this for quite a while. Since the expansion's been going on, they've known that this kind of fate is coming type thing. So it's yeah, to Brad's point, this has been in the works, so they're very aligned with the shift, and all of them who have come so far have really liked the location. It's just not as cumbersome for their people to get down into there, for load-ins to get down to the convention center. You know that you have seen a load-in down there. It clogs the streets on 14th and everywhere else, can create quite a mess, so it alleviates a lot of pressure points for them down there.
What's Visit Denver backfilling with?
I don't know all the conventions that are out there, but some pretty large citywides, things like that, that they're trying to land that they've been hovering with, that they can now bring in.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit to that point on, from the Visit Denver board, just as I serve on that as well, as they are, this pivot and change that Joe talks about is good for them because it does allow them to book some time that helps in that respect, and they're actively, when we saw sales reports over there at the last meeting, looking to fill those dates where these type of events were good.
What percentage of those are booked, bought, and paid for?
I would say 90%. We're buttoning up some of them in the later year, like holiday gift show, some of those, but in general, they're all booking to 27 now. So kind of what Brad was saying, our bookings in 27, boat shows now added in. RV is trying to crank down the front end, which is dynamic. We'll see if that can happen or not. But they're all going to contract in 27, about a year out now, so.
But the events on that screen are all contracted.
Correct. Yep, those are all contracted.
Can I ask one last question that'll be germane in a later conversation? Brad, how much are you personally involved in the procurement of events? Are these relationships that you have? Is it your sales process?
As little as possible. I mean, every single deal goes by me, both when it is at the proposal stage and I am the signer of the contract at the end. Joe, Amanda, Brian, Kenzie, they are, you know, beating the bushes, making the calls.
Okay,
We have a solid sales now.
okay, thanks.
I get called in when there's some city related thing. And or some quasi public sort of thing. That once it
That gets
works
sticky.
super cheap.
But you're not the tip of the spear. These aren't
No.
your relationships, your
No.
Rolodex.
All right, marketing campaign. I wanted to take just a few minutes and have Jenna talk about this. There's some really cool stuff going on, you guys, and I wanted you to hear about it from the person who's doing it.
Thanks, Brad. As many of you know, we started kind of this brand awareness campaign in 2025. It was highly successful, but we really utilized the results from 25 to inform our investments for this year. So we're really kind of doubling down on three main areas for these initial months. First one being paid search or Google search. And we are very happy to report that that is coming in well ahead of where we had hoped. The national average for the click-through rates on that is typically around 2%, and we're getting about 8.8%. So out of every 100 people that sees our ad, almost nine of them are clicking through to our website to find out more information, which is huge. And then we're also doing a lot of investments on the Meta side, so both on Facebook and Instagram, and the conversions on that are really promising as well at 4.31% click-through rates. And then geofencing is exceeding the benchmark as well, not quite as impressive of numbers, but still really exciting. And I'll kind of dive into each of those a little bit deeper here. So what we did around the Google ads was really identify a couple dozen kind of keywords that we wanted to be associated with. So when people are Googling things like things to do in Denver or concerts in Denver, festivals in Denver, National Western, Denver activities, the idea is that we are one of the very first things that they see, and our ad is kind of served up to them as something to do in Denver. And it's, like I said, this is our top performer so far, and was really fun to see it come back. We've been live in the market since February 2nd, and this data goes from February 2nd to 22nd. So it just kind of captures the first initial weeks, but obviously we're about a month and a half right now, so we have some more data that will be coming in. So I'll continue to share this as we go. But a couple things that this shows that's really exciting is we chose the right keywords to be associated with. It's proving that when people do type in things like things to do in Denver, they really are being served up our campaign, which is really exciting. And ultimately we are clicking through our website to find out more of who we are and what we're doing. But in addition to that, not only are keywords effective, but also our advertising strategy is flashy and interesting enough that people are actually doing our call to action, which is clicking through and finding out more information. So that's really exciting. To dive in on the Meta side a little bit further, as I mentioned, this is both on Facebook and Instagram. And this one's actually very impressive because the national average is 1% or less on the click-through rates on this, and we're at 4.31%. So people are actually, taking action and excited about what they're seeing. On the bottom right, you see the different types of creative. So we have essentially 4 different types of ads that have the same messaging, same look and feel, but they differ slightly. And we wanted to kind of play around with those a little bit on social to see what's landing with folks. And that one on the bottom right is far and away outperforming the rest. I want to show it to you here in just a moment, but first just want to explain it a little bit more. This is kind of really the premise of our campaign. We've set it up as being, we are the center of all of these different thematic areas. We're the center of learning with our partners at CCU. We're the center of culture and experience and sustainability and flavor, just kind of indicating the diverse events and abilities that we have to do here at the National Western Center. You see it, as technology is my friend today, and we'll actually let this. Okay, so pretend there's music behind this. Hopefully you'll be served this ad on social media later today when you log on. I'll just play it one more time since we're distracted. It's 10 seconds, so it's really quick. But it kind of shows this wheel of, all these different types of things that we can be and transform into depending on what you want to bring to the canvas as an event promoter or planner.
Yeah.
And then lastly, our geofencing is a totally new tactic for us this year. I think I shared a little bit of information on it in past meetings, but essentially what we've been able to do is target people where they are physically without having to physically be there ourselves. So with Joe's help and Amanda's help, we kind of identified a dozen different conferences that specifically target event planners and promoters around the nation throughout the year. And then what we're doing is geo-targeting all of the attendees that are at that conference for however long the duration is, whether it's a week or a few days. But we're able to actually hone in on the people that are attending that conference and serve up ads to them as kind of the new hot venue, new hot campus around the country. like I said, these numbers are a little less impressive, I think, just because we haven't had a lot of the conferences. We've only had 2 out of the 12 that we've identified, so I do anticipate these numbers growing over time. But at the end of the day, we're still outperforming by double the industry average, which is 0.8%, and we're at 16%. So the imagery you see on the bottom is just kind of a sample of the look and feel that we're going for. The one on the right-hand side, we launched directly after Stock Show to try and kind of keep some of the momentum that they built. So kind of indicating gather around year round, we're still here, you know, Stock Show's amazing during January, and we're gonna be amazing February through December as well. So that creative will kind of taper off now that we're outside of Stock Show, and then we're really kind of leaning into this say hello to the new center messaging moving forward. So all really good things. Like I said, this is only for the first 20 days of the campaign, so I anticipate these numbers changing throughout the year, but I think it's really good kind of first indication of how we're performing in the market. And then lastly, I'm just going to show you, we just got these back on Monday, some sample TV spots that will be airing beginning next month, April 2nd, I believe they go live. So we will start seeing these on the TV near you, hopefully.
Say hello to the new National Western Center. Explore what moves you, taste global flavors, learn from the experts, create your vision. Unforgettable concerts, festivals, flavors, and events await all year round. Just minutes from downtown Denver and the new forever home of the Stock Show and CSU Spur. Find it all at the center. Learn more at nationalwesterncenter.com.
There's a couple different variations of that. This is a 30-second spot, but we also have a 15-second, 10-second version of that commercial that will be airing kind of all over, both on cable networks as well as connected TV, meaning streaming services, Hulu, and otherwise all of the streaming. There's so many streaming services these days, but hopefully we'll be all over it. So yeah, really exciting. Really exciting.
Any questions?
Lori, what people, 30 years. Lori, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lori. I do community engagement at the National Western Center. I love to start off like that. Happy Ag Day, and today was the fun fact that I learned about Colorado. Sweet corn is our state's vegetable. Did not know that. Came from the Midwest. It was our state vegetable pretty much in Indiana. But we've been doing a lot of cool things on campus. As you know, we don't waste the first Fridays of every month. We've really turned that platform to be the first Friday that we come together and add activations. We've got Compost Colorado that brings compost to the families. We've got resources that a lot of our community partners will bring information to share with our families. We have about 450 families that come every first Friday to get food and diapers, baby essentials, and we're just really excited because it's our chance to really get to know our families, our community. But we're just continuing to use that platform to actually add more resources and add more activation during that time while we've captured the audience. We've provided about 700 tickets this year, and we've got a field trip with the Denver Public Schools, Swansea Elementary kids that will be attending with their families to the March Powwow. So we're really looking forward to that field trip. We did it last year. We're going to continue to grow that sponsorship. And, participating in community events has been really a staple for me to get to know families and really see how we can all work together. It's not about us working against each other. It's about how can we expand those services and extend the partnerships with our community that are providing so many great services. And then we've got a lot of community activities, like we've got the movie night at CSU Spur, which we're really excited about. We have about 70 individuals. So maybe like 30 families that come, and we do movie, popcorn, food, and we partner with Valdez Perry Library. Just a lot of things happening. We're really getting ready for Market of the Center. This year, we're going to be located on the plaza. So we're going to be in the center of all of the attraction. We're really excited for WSSA to be a partner of the Legacy. Now that it's open, we've got all partners kind of on the platform to be seen, heard, and to provide that community benefit to our community members. So just a lot of really cool.
There's a slide.
Yeah, so just a lot of really cool things happening. We've got the riverfront that will still be activated with home ownership. We've got a youth workforce, and we've got the Latin All-Stars that will be kind of set up through the riverfront, as well as this year we're activating a petting zoo. We kept hearing from community members, they want to have a space that they can come to enjoy, but obviously without the financial burden. So bringing the petting zoo, making sure all of the spaces are still activated. We've got Ducky Derby coming. We're really excited about during our river theme. Mother's Day is coming up in May, which we have some animals that will be painted with their, not painted. Okay, let me go back. Not painted, but they will be colored to kind of go with the whole theme of, you know, spring, summer, and you're going to have mommies and babies. So we're just really excited for everything that's coming for Market at the Center. This year, we were able to encompass the Market at the Center having the run of the show through QR codes on our marketing. So now when our messaging goes out, we not only have CSU Spur in National Western Center, but we also have the Legacy. So we're really looking forward to having their activation, their first floor. We had a meeting yesterday. They've got a lot of great ideas for activations as well as our own current activations. So just a lot of really fun things. I feel like I'm always saying coming soon, but it really is going to be here before you know it.
Lori, do you have physical copies of this like over at Tepeyac already?
So we are going to print it by hopefully April 1st. We just have to make sure that all of our QR codes are all landing perfectly. So we have to get all 3 partners to approve. I think we're just waiting for the last approval. Since some of our themes are a little different, we just want to make sure the messaging. So by April 1st, our goal is to do permanent large signs at a lot of the local stores or the local businesses throughout GES. So they can just go in and know that, hey, it's coming up this week. What's the plan? What's the run of the show for all 3 of these locations? The saloon will be open for these Market at the Centers. And we're working with some local artists that can be able to use that space as kind of, you know, their stage and really activate for campus. So more to come, but yeah, just really exciting.
Get you some printed copies though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can probably put them like in the front at Tepeyac for people to take with them, and then once
Yeah.
the flyer goes home and the kids see it, maybe it's a little bit different, and the kids are like,
Yes.
we gotta go to this. So
Yeah, and Cecilia will be tabling during that from Tepeyac. So
perfect, she's great.
yeah, and we've got, so far, we've had about 16 community members that really want to table, but we really want to make sure that this is a landing place for a free activation and not have it become just a resource fair. So really trying to be mindful of who's tabling at that month and how can we have a platform for all community members.
Perfect.
Yeah, and another fun fact, because I love fun facts. So we have given out about 18,000 pounds of food with our We Don't Waste just in 2026. And one of the fun facts that I learned, 18,000 is about 12 to 15 pounds. That's the size of how much food we are diverting from waste. So I'll sleep with that, but it's amazing.
Where are you getting the food from?
So we get it from We Don't Waste, but they have partners from Kroger's. We have SSA is one of the people that will donate to that, but they produce that food from all over Colorado. And they're the main partnership that collects all of that, but it's wonderful.
We Don't Waste was started by a guy named Arlen Prieblood, who's actually the father of Kevin Prieblood, who is one of the partners in the LEV. And Arlen, I think 20 years ago or so, maybe longer than that, and basically picking up outdated foods from stores and restaurants, and then aggregating it and giving it out. I don't know, how many locations do they have in Denver right now, do you know?
Oh, I'd probably say at least 9, but they continue to grow. They just built a learning lab and a whole, like a warehouse where they do education with the food that is coming in. They do them with youth, adults, and families as a whole. But that was just built and opened last year, so continuing to grow.
Remarkable organization. We've had a on and off relationship with them for 7 years now. They were using the LED parking lot, and they had trucks, and they were giving out food from there for a period of time during COVID as well. And then they've always wanted to have a more formalized relationship with us. And this facility, this is perfect. They do a loop right around the parking lot here. It's pretty amazing.
Is that the guy that presented to us like a year ago?
No, different person.
So they like, what I know is they started like getting big when, it was the I-70 project. So they were a very small organization. So since Kaywood, which was the construction company, and CETA, they wanted to give something to the community, they brought them in, and that's how they started here in ES. And that's how they started going a lot. They were doing it in 3 different places here in GS.
Yeah.
And Kaywood and CETA were the ones that were funding the whole program.
Yeah, it's a great program. We are Stockyard Event Centers. We are packing 1 million meals, boxes of meals. So if you're interested for yourself or your team to pack meals and volunteer 2 hours, a whole day, I'll be sending that information out. They're looking for a lot of volunteers, but those meals then go back to We Don't Waste and a lot of those local organizations. But I'll send that out.
That is our report.
Great.
Mr. Chair.
Any questions? Great, thanks, Lori. Thanks, Jeff. The party reports, Mike, Sabine County, Denver.
Yep, that one is in the board packet.
Any questions, Mike? Thanks, Mike. CSU, Jeremy?
Nico's actually gonna start us off.
Sure.
I can I make a quick comment here?
Welcome to the first meeting.
I think Tony's jumping in.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed the very beginning, everyone. I hear that Rico's been introduced to all of you, so I won't repeat his background. Suffice it to say that his background positions him incredibly well to serve on this board. He'll be taking my place sometime over the next year here in his current role. He's still managing responsibilities at Spur as well as serving as the executive vice chancellor, and he'll be the next chancellor, which I know you all know is a major league upgrade. But in the meantime, we'll have the benefit of his experiences and out at Spur and what he's done there, and I'll turn it to him to say a few words and introduce Jeremy. Thanks.
And thank you all, and thank you for the introduction and welcome, John. And I know many of you, and know many of you for different seats and different places around town for quite some time, and glad to meet others of you. Excited to be part of this project from the CSU lens. I started with kind of this project when I was on the board of governors back in 2014, 15, I guess. And so excited to come back around from another angle and be part of this connection on everything that's happening here. We're really excited to partner with Wes and all the events that are going to be happening at the Livestock Center of your team. Really want to build up some companion programming that's happening for all those exciting events, and then work through all the issues as we really connect with the community, really do. So we hope it's really good anchor work with the community. I know that our folks have been active engaging with the community and been out there, and so we want to continue that and continue that presence here in the community. And with that, and I'm happy to continue to have Tony and Bill serving here because the fewer meetings for me, the better.
So as long as Molly lets that, it's, Bill keeps showing up, we'll also have Bill coming and doing his things. With that, I'll turn it over to Jeremy to give our actual, kind of updated report.
Maybe.
Excellent. So this past month, Spur saw strong engagement across education and community partnerships and events, helping assist activate the National Western Center year-round in meaningful ways. And as a public-facing research and education and engagement center, Spur continues to connect people, accelerate innovation, motivate transformation in a variety of different ways. And happy to share more about that today. Just want to highlight the photo here on the first slide. If you didn't get a chance to check out this incredible 35-foot mural that was unveiled at the stock show since the stock show, it's been on display up until this week at CSU Spur, and it's been a bit reflective of some of the activations that we have on campus and how it sparks imagination and it highlights some of the interconnected systems statewide here at the National Western. So it was a really cool artwork that was commissioned by the Colorado Department of Agriculture to celebrate the 150th anniversary. And we loved having it at Spur. What building is it? It was actually in between the buildings on the bridge in between Hydro and Terra, which is, you know, great symbolism of the connection between land and water. Okay, so moving on to education highlights. Our summer field trip registration is live right now and open. We are on pace right now with our educational program to serve almost 9,500 K through 12 students just this spring. And so strong demand continues from school districts and other programs to have educational and formal experiences at CSU Spur. And one of those experiences is a expanded virtual reality program that we've developed in partnership with Future Farmers of America. It's yielding some like innovative, immersive career content that we can distribute statewide through virtual reality programs, and actually had the opportunity to try it. It's really challenging. It's focused on sanitation, and you're going through a series of challenges to safely feed a calf. And so it's an incredible learning experience and tool that we have that we're able to share out. So what's coming up next? Our fall field trip registration opens in August, and we already have a list posted online for interest. So if there's groups who have interest in signing up for the registration, we can get some connections there. We're working on a juried youth art exhibition. That's a collaboration between the Museum of Contemporary Art here in Denver, and then also it spotlights youth voice around the 150th anniversary of Colorado. So some cool things coming there focused around art. And then we're continuing the momentum that we had from this year with the inaugural class of Spur Start. So that was fairly successful with 22 students starting, and it is going to definitely grow next year. The neat thing about this program, so just as a reminder, it is a first-year program where undergraduate students can start here at Spur and then transfer in their second year to Fort Collins. And the neat thing about that is it's also an employment pipeline and a career pipeline as well. So we have many of those students who are in that cohort employed here on campus. So there's some neat connections just happening inherently being located here at Spur. We can move to that, right? So then focusing on outreach, we're celebrating some of the creative community neighbors that we have here at the National Western Center. So Blue Silo, which is located right next to us, is installing an art exhibit in the Terra building. So we're really excited to kind of celebrate some of the creativity that they have. And it's also a visible signal that Spur is not just a research and education center, but it's also a cultural hub for some of the things that are happening here in the community. We've had a lot of outreach touch points with various organizations this past month. So connections with Bruce Randolph, going to some of the family conferences, the Aurora Public School career fairs. DMNS had a Girls in Science Night that we were at, having direct connection with families and educators, and again, highlighting some of those programs and pathways that Spur was able to offer. And then we've been doing a lot of cool cooking classes in the Terra Kitchen, both led by CSU and also community members. So up to about 90 participants so far have participated in that. And these classes connect nutrition, sustainability with practical skills right at campus. So what's next? Bruce Randolph is actually coming to Spur later this month and hosting a campus-wide takeover for a career fair, which is incredible. We're really looking forward to it. There's going to be career pathways again connected to CSU that are there. We're deepening some of our connections with Focus Points, a really important GES partner here, and we're hosting their annual board reception next month. And then we're identifying community-led volunteer opportunities for Spur staff here in GES in the summer that we're going to get some staff and students hopefully to assist in the community. Just kind of highlighting, going back on the community slide, like it's through these partnerships that we're hoping to expand some of the community awareness around CSU Spur, the National Western Center, hopefully build some of that trust and utilize CSU Spur and the National Western Center year round. So I'm really thankful for some of the work that's being done here. And then moving on to events. Second Saturdays continue to be a really strong draw for the public. And the last two Second Saturdays, the one that we had in February and also in March, were collaborations with media partners. So in February, we worked with PBS to host Be My Neighbor Day, which was a really hyper-local fun activity. It drew probably about 1,400 people to campus that day. And the main celebrity is right there on the slide, Daniel Tiger. If you have a kid aged 2 to 4 in your household, they probably know who Daniel Tiger is. And we had a whole dance party with him on our campus. But it was also spotlighting some of the community service drives that PBS and WeCycle provide and giving back to the community there. And then this past Second Saturday was a collaboration with CBS to spotlight and encourage girls in STEM pathways. And so we had some really cool partners on site with neat equipment and really kind of sparking some of that curiosity. And then beyond that, we held a series of highly relevant cross-sector convenings that were often highlighting educational pathways, but many of these other events that you see here are really core to the mission of CSU Spur and the National Western Center. And we're really excited to continue to offer some of these things moving forward. So in short, Spur is turning curiosity into careers and building, hopefully, community trust while contributing to the relevancy and vibrancy here at the National Western Center year round. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Hey, Justin, you might have said, but in terms of the, how far along can you get in terms of getting into career at Spur before you transfer to one of the main campuses?
It's so it's the first year in the undergraduate program. Yeah, it's designed to help save a lot of money, but also leverage some of the unique things that we have here at Spur to like really get students excited as they move into their second year. So it's only for the first year.
Jeremy, I have a question. I mean, a comment and a question, and my comment is just wow, because you guys are doing some really cool stuff. The Bruce Randolph career fair and any other career fairs. I'm curious to know what Caroline and Sandra think about the community's response to those. I mean, that feels like a huge asset, assuming those jobs are coming both entry level and non-entry level. And do we even know that, or are they just asking companies to host a booth and stuff?
I don't actually have that information, but I can look up some of that and give it to you.
Scale of 1 to 10, is that valuable for the community? Do people show up for those?
I really think it depends on who is there, what organizations are at the career fair, because some people might show up regardless just to see. Some people might only be interested in certain fields. I haven't heard anything in specific from anybody in the community saying this sucked or this was super, super great or anything like that. So no real specific feedback, but I think that it really does boil down to like who is there a lot of times.
I I think it's mostly how you're doing the outreach to community and how you letting know the community about this event. Because I usually don't see a lot of community sometimes showing to events, even though like we have a lot of people coming into the different events. I don't see a lot of communities like saying people from US. So, and this is a really great, opportunity. So how are you guys gonna do the outreach to these 3 neighborhoods? And also I had a question about the summer camp, workshops and stuff that you have. Are you still doing the scholarship for GS, and how do people know about that? Because I remember like 2 years ago when my daughter participated, it was just her from GS, so she got a scholarship. But how can we give more scholarships to more kids? Because my daughter doesn't like to participate much. So she went that year, but last year she didn't want to participate. But how we can do these programs or scholarships to more kids in GS that, because I don't like, I don't see much of that information in the neighborhood. Even though you have it on the website, something that I always say is that not a lot of people has access to internet or to the links that you have or those
Or
things. And
texting.
probably texting, probably doing more like outreach.
What kind of mechanisms do you two have for getting that information out to the community? I think a lot of us rely on you to be the connector. What kind of mechanism do you guys have?
I do texting, emails, and I do knocking on doors.
And
That's and Facebook, and I do a lot of Facebook because there's different groups. So I always try to do that. So
And you?
And for me, I usually take stuff that we have to other community organizations and have them kind of try to disseminate it, because we have a lot of people in the neighborhoods that are part of some community groups, but unfortunately, there's still a lot of people who are gonna get missed because, you know, of all the things you said, if they're not signed up for the texting, if they don't go on Facebook, you know, if they're not part of the community organizations, if they don't go by Prodigy, for example, we have Prodigy is a really great place to like leave flyers and stuff like that. A lot of people are in and out, but there's still a lot of people in the neighborhoods who don't go there and will be missed by that. So I think that as much as we can diversify all the different ways we're reaching out is best. So I usually go to other community organizations and have them, because they have their own members and, you know, different groups of the neighborhood that might not be reached by Prodigy or by Facebook and things like that. Obviously Prodigy too, because there's a great place to leave flyers and stuff there. Tepeyac, we have flyers that we can leave at Tepeyac. We have a lot of community members who go there, so they might not be part of the texting, might not be on Facebook, but could still see the flyer in that case.
Okay.
So
Sounds like we're doing everything we can then.
And I know that Eduardo, who's part of CSU Spur, he does take a lot of items over to Emmanuel's Bakery and he leaves those items. We do as well. So they can just pack them in their grocery bags as well.
The Bruce Randolph School Career Fair is, it's the first one that we've ever done. So that may be why you haven't heard about it yet. It's also during the school day. So buses are bringing classes to campus for that. So it's not an after hours like drop in if you can. And we're hosting mostly juniors and senior classes that are coming.
got it, okay. So it's just for the students?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Hopefully the students bring all that information home to the parents and families.
It's pretty amazing what CSU is doing, what Lori's doing, what Sandra and Caroline are doing, and what Stock Show's doing. They layer that on top, that creates quite a program package, so pretty impressive.
One of the things that I used to do, because I worked with CREA for 3 weeks. CREA results, and anyways, I don't want to go into details, but we used to get a bunch of flyers from different organizations and just go and knocking on doors and taking that whole package to the different homes. So I don't know if you guys can create a program like that where you can hire people from the community and can take those packages of flyers, because that's like, people are not gonna open doors to strangers and to people that comes from these big organizations. They're gonna open doors to the same community, to people they know. So I don't know if there's something that CSU, Stockshore, National Western Center can do to pay people, residents to do that job. Because yeah, like I said, what works mostly for me that I've seen this past 11 years is knocking on doors or just leaving those flyers on homes, like people are gonna see that mostly than yes, a website or a link or even organizations, something that I say, sometimes we rely on organizations, Danny, that they're gonna do the job that we're supposed to do. And organizations, sometimes they do give it to the members and sometimes they don't, because I was with different organizations and I know that they get all these packages and they stay there. Once they pass, they throw them away. They're not really gonna do it, give it to the members. And that's because they feel like it's not their job to do it. So, and I'm just saying it because I have seen that. So, I mean, if there's something that you all can do together and do that, I think that'll be a better outreach.
Something to think about.
In my
Looks like
perspective.
we're getting pretty good coverage.
Yeah,
right
and I
now.
think Sandra is right too, because we have all these organizations, but we also have so many people in the neighborhoods who don't belong to any of them and who would get missed no matter, even if everybody did their best and we did all the texting, all the Facebook, there's still gonna be people in the neighborhoods that might be interested that are gonna get missed. So I think that if we have the manpower, if we have the resources, the door to door, at least with the flyering, if not, knocking and maybe getting a block captain, give them a gift card for them to go do the rest of their street and, stuff like that could be really good because people will fall through the cracks otherwise.
Sure.
And maybe partner with Michael, since they're doing that block captains already, and they're gonna have people doing that job of taking flyers and everything, maybe partner with him and see how you can add also your flyers and your information there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ideas.
Good idea.
Okay.
Good ideas.
Anything else for Justin?
Sure.
Thanks, Justin.
Nothing over there.
He's so polite and called him Justin the last one.
Sorry, Jim, don't worry about it.
Sorry, Jack. Go back to, Western Stock Association, Wes?
Yeah, so it's in the report, but also to the question of the parking garage. It is officially starting to move, so we will have that area fenced by the end of the week, and so all things are good. We get done before the end of the week.
Great.
Break around Monday.
We're around Monday. How many spaces is that?
407.
Anything else for Wes? Thanks, Wes. The community update for Sandra and Caroline.
Do you wanna go first?
You go. I don't have anything.
Okay, I just have a couple things. So we're gonna start off right away with a save the date for everyone. You guys are probably expecting this. Tortillas for Tepeyac is gonna be happening again on May 28th. Is anybody here?
It's like every couple of weeks.
We really only have 2 events a year, but I try to get in early.
He is like, okay, go ahead.
Is anybody here doing the celebrity rolling? I haven't found out who are all the celebrity rollers
I'm
yet, but
interested to find out.
I'm anxious to find out because when Brad was the celebrity roller, we had such a fun time. We were all giggling and had just a blast at that event. I always have a blast at the event because it's a really unique, kind of funny, like chill environment one. So always fun. So save the date for May 28th. I would love to see all of you there, as many as possible. It's always been a great event. It will never not be a great event. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If we want to coordinate, and there was a group I think it was one of the newscasters, and they had like little printed out like signs to wave and accessories, and they were all having a blast. So if anyone wants to accessorize, let me know. I'd be down.
Yeah, so we are doing a table, CSU is doing a table, but we are gonna bling it out.
Yes,
So
okay.
Mass Western Center
I'm so ready.
is raising the roof on
We're
that.
gonna have such a fun time. This is seriously such a fun event. I know there's a lot of people who get invited to fundraiser after fundraiser, and they'll say this one is super unique because all the other ones, it's like, okay, you sit down, you have a nice meal, you chat with people, you watch what's happening on the stage, but it's never quite so entertaining as watching people, especially if it's someone who's like really great at rolling tortillas, does it all the time next to somebody who's like never done it before. Very, very hilarious. It's a great experience. So I'm looking forward to it. And that's May 28th. So save the date for anyone who might be interested. The only other things I have kind of maybe it's not really a personal question, but we have term limits, right? Because I know I've been here for a couple of years and I'm realizing like, oh, the time is like passing on. I need to maybe like be thinking about, do I have a term limit, I'm guessing? Do I?
Yeah, Alexi actually.
50 years, got it.
term limits for the board members.
5 years.
5 years, okay, so I need to not immediately start planning or anything like that, but okay.
Yeah,
Do,
because we just did Lex and I discussed this week, so I could probably pass this out as far as what everybody's terms are.
okay, fantastic, yeah, because I knew it had been a little bit of time, but I wasn't sure really. Feels like I've been here forever sometimes. Awesome, okay, so not anytime soon for me to worry about. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if we have someone who, like, I wanna have the community investment fund come and give a good presentation so that we can all kind of get to enjoy the fruits of our labors. We all get to see, I feel like we see so much of the back end and all the hard work. And I want us to be able to really see all the results that we get and not just like one little presentation. If I want to have them come in, do I have to fill out a form to have them come present, or how would we make that happen? Is anybody else interested in having a presentation from them for the roundup and all the stuff that we do?
The CIF,
Yeah, the CIF.
I'm interested.
Well, I think what we'd like to do as far as this, the CIF and the kind of revenue generation we're trying to do there. Obviously, I think the best place to handle it would probably be community level, so that's where it's gonna get the most attention. Because we're always trying to think of ways to generate more money for the community, because really that's really key, and the best way for us to do that is be successful at the campus, generate events, generate revenue. So I think what the best way we do that, Caroline, was maybe bring a proposal to the community benefits committee.
Okay.
And then vet it, and then whatever they want to move forward to the committee, let's do that. That way it'll get the most attention, because
Yeah.
I think for the full board does, it's just sort of a cursory, doesn't want to get the detail it should. I think community benefits committee would be the one that really kind of spend time with that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I remember last month I hadn't been able to attend the community benefits committee, so I ended up bringing up a lot of the same stuff there. So it got me thinking, like, what is the process of getting stuff moved all the way up through? And I don't want to, skip a step or do anything,
No,
out
that's
of order.
Structure, that, because most of our work is done in committee. Here it's more reporting and stuff, so I think if you're gonna really do a proposal, that you really want to get some attention to it, I'd go through the community.
Start there, perfect. And I think we didn't have a meeting of that this month, but I think we do next month.
In April.
We meet,
Next month, yeah, okay.
CBC meets every other month.
Every other month, right, okay, perfect, okay, so we'll put a pin in this for now, we'll move it down the line and I'll escalate that at the next month's CBC meeting. One final
Before
question.
you move on, can I offer a suggestion to the committee as you consider this model? I do think in terms of reporting, it would behoove us to look at some numbers every month or every quarter or something. We got this much in, we gave this much out. I think that's kind of part of our job to see how frequently these funds are being spent. So maybe
Yeah.
consider that just.
That's a great idea.
2-line thing on a slide somewhere,
Especially if
Good
it's,
idea. Don't really have the county at the board level.
right?
as
Yeah.
Brought in, we should do that.
yeah, because then if we do it like every other month in the same month as the community benefits committee meeting, we can kind of get that information and then move it along. And that would probably, I think that would be a great idea, yeah.
And I'm happy to
have
have
an obligation to
One of
look
the-
at that.
Update folks, so there has been a fair amount of conversation about this in the last few months. And so what we're planning to do is that we make an annual grant distribution for the CIF funds to be expended over the next 12 months. So on first week in July, there's a grant distribution that will be made for the previous 12 months. So it's not calendar year, it's July 1 to June 30. And then we do a grant agreement. I think these are good ideas and we should talk about this at the community benefits committee meeting. And I know Ernest is on here because that is where sort of the requirements we have for the grant
oversight.
can be defined. So it's been really loose in the past. We want this to be community governed. But we also have
Our
responsibilities around fiduciary duties for how those dollars are allocated by the CIF. So that's where that conversation can live. And I would suggest CBC is the place to have that and have some conversations about that.
Yeah, I mean, the framework is deliberate that the board doesn't direct, this board does not direct where those grants go. Our goal is just to raise money and produce as much income or revenue as we can for the CIF. And then let the CIF make their decisions with parameters in place, but we have some oversight as to making sure that they're following those parameters,
Yeah.
but we don't want to have any direct input into who gets what money.
Yeah.
As long as that group is following the guidelines, it's hands off on everything.
I have questions. Is the CBC open for everyone or just the CBC group? I mean, how does it work? Like, I was gonna ask that at this last meeting, what was our role there? And what was the purpose of doing the CBC? And that was because of the things that have been happening, and I just wanted to make sure that if I'm gonna attend a meeting, I know really what is my role to be able to, I don't know, just to know what I'm gonna be doing there, and also how, if Deidre has questions, like she's been asking for questions about reporting, about funding, how can she also go to the CBC maybe as a ¿cómo se llama? Público.
Member of the public.
So the CBC is a subcommittee of this board.
Uh-huh.
So any board member can attend any of the committee meetings. And so the voting members on the Community Benefits Committee are the board members. It's also open to the public, so other interested parties can join in. And so that's been pretty open. The Community Benefits Committee has occasional action items, not a lot. But maybe that's going to ramp up. So we would invite other board members who are interested in this to attend.
There's been a lot of discussion about where the grants go and there's always going to be some controversy there. But I think that we want to make sure that the CIF committee is in charge of making those grants, but that they're following the parameters laid down. So I think there's some, even Councilman Dale Watson's asked us about that. So it's important that we, again, don't want to be meddling in that process, but we also want to make sure that that group is following the guidelines. So.
Agreed.
Chair, I could, or Director Head of House has his hand up.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to agree with that too. And I think a great conversation. I think we've jotted it down for the agenda to have on our next CBC meeting on April 8th. And I think what committees, at least in my experience, have done is we can have that conversation at CBC, have recommendations that then we propose to the overall board, and then include that in a future agenda, as we also talk with CAF to see what the timeline that works for them. As to Brad's point, if the reporting is done after the grants have all been awarded, if at certain points of the year when the grants come in and information can be provided publicly on how those dollars were spent, all these conversations clearly we need to have with CIF. And to, I can't remember who asked, absolutely, I think these committees, any of the board members can be there, but I also want to make a point that CIF is just one component of CBC. Any other group or organization can come. And if we need to do a better job at presenting that to the community, happy to work with the other board members to spread that out and just share that information. But looking forward to having this conversation also at the CBC meeting on April 8th. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Ernest. Anything else?
I just had one more question. So for the roundup, the POS system reporting, who gets that data? And is that something like I could look at, or is that like somebody's, job and they're the one who looks at the data?
The CIF has asked for CIF contribution data that does not exist from SSA. The sales exist. The breakout of the CIF, I'm told, is not broken out.
Okay. Yeah, because all the POS systems
we get
are.
it in lump sum, so we
Mhm.
get it by day, basically,
Yeah.
is how we get them.
Okay.
What is the interest, what is the concern that comes from, or the?
So I love data. I'm not a money person, but I'm a data person. So I was interested to see if I would be able to look at what kind of data to see like how many people choose to round up and what is the average amount that gets rounded up, just little things like that. But it was really like, is this public data? What kind of data do we get? Because all these POS systems are different depending on you know, who operates it and what the program is and stuff like that. So really a curiosity kind of question for me and my thirst for knowledge.
We've asked that as well, and that does not seem to be something that is tracked that way.
Okay.
Here is the good news, though. At stock show alone, and we see these sorts of numbers across all of the events, but at stock show alone, of the gross point of sales concessions revenue, 5.36, if I'm remembering that number, and I think I have it right, was contributed to Roundup. That is an impressive figure. When we were talking about that conversation during the equestrian center, Steve, what was the percentage we estimated? Two point something.
I'd have to pull it up, but it's lower than that.
Yeah, it was like half of that was our estimate based on what sort of best practices around the country of what we were seeing.
5% people round up.
No, of every dollar spent on concessions at point of sale, 5.36 cents was contributed, was rounded up. It's significant.
Yeah.
And so, I want folks to know that, it's working, and it's working better than we estimated. And I think sometimes people think something's not working or it's not working well enough. It's working very well. And, so happy to provide as much data as we can get our hands on.
Right.
Quite frankly, I think it supports what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Caroline, you're right, we're trying to figure out a way to get more revenue to the CIF, and the key is, we got so behind on COVID and events and stuff, and hopefully start kicking that thing into high gear.
Yeah.
Different questions, we can see some really strong dollars come towards.
And we are having some successes with the ticketing fees. We're finding some deals, these concert deals.
Yeah.
We are, each one individually looking at, some deals have room, some don't.
Yeah.
Some of those things are working, so we're very optimistic.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah.
And one thing I went back to the tortilla roll. I mean, historically, the new person on the board is the guest roller. You know? Loves this.
I just pointed out he's the new person.
I'll make sure you guys talk afterwards.
We'll all get us here.
Oh, yeah, what?
There we go.
We'll do team rolling. No, team rolling.
I'm not team rolling.
He gets the problem.
So just your motion. Oh, did you have an, I'm sorry, or anything else?
That was it for me.
Great, thank you.
I don't have anything.
Okay, just a comment, I know I'm always very anal about this, up on top, the agenda says 9 to 12. On the running count to the left, we're 9:25, disregard that. I will get you out of here before 12. I will not get you out of here, so we'll correct. So I don't want people to feel rushed in terms of thinking we're behind time. Okay, community reports, Nicole is not here. Mitzi, you want to do a quick update, and we also need to get a motion on the audit.
Sure thing. So the audit went really well this year. We had no misstatements or any type of internal control issues or anything of that nature. Just a quick recap again of 2025. We were about $600,000 higher than planned on those operating revenues, 100,000 over on events. We had about 78,000 in sponsorship. To Caroline's question, we had $101,000 more collected from the CIF than that was in the plan, along with some interest and some other donations, totaling that 600,000 increase in operating revenue. Expenses were 7.6 million compared to 6.5. 1.1 million higher than budget related to LBC startup costs, stormwater, some utilities, legal fees, and accrued interest. Our operating results were about $500,000 lower than we had budgeted. We forecasted back in July a much bigger miss, so we were able to course correct and find savings across the entire organization to minimize the impact of the budget miss for 2025. consolidated net deficit of 4.5 million compared to 3.4. Additionally, the authority made about $400,000 in fixed asset investments in 2025 related to LBC and hub and new computers and things like that for new employees. 2026, we kind of have some preliminary numbers, but we're also implementing a lot of new processes in the financial operations world. We did job costing in January, so it's completely changing the way that we're booking our payroll because everyone, including our salary staff, are allocating time to different facilities and different departments. So it's really going to help us understand our costs in the future so that we can help maximize our profit and see where things may be a little bit more expensive than we hope. Another area is ticketing revenue with Humanitix doing a lot of the February events. We're working with them to get the reports that we need so we can post our revenue properly. And then also too, we're still working with SSA on getting a revenue expense allocation between WSSA and the authority. So we're still working towards that. That being said, we have received our contribution from the city for 2026 along with our district energy loan. So cash is up to almost $8 million at the end of February, which is great. 3.1% of our revenue has been booked through February, which is about 24%, while expenses were roughly 1.7 million or 11%. So we're still looking at a net operating profit through February about 1.5 million. Any questions?
Any questions for Mitzi? Great, thanks, Mitzi. We did have at the finance meeting this week, we talked about the audit, very clean audit. We did have a couple of requests of Doug Jones, some notes about the debt owed to our partners. I think it's satisfactory. So can I get a motion to approve the last year's audit?
But just for the record, Mr. Harkard, the finance committee did recommend to the board that the audit be approved. So just so we have that clear on the record.
And now the audit in detail, it was recommended to be approved by this board. Yeah. So we have a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Thanks, Mitzi. Hey, Mitzi, how's your son's baseball team doing?
They play again today at 3:00. So they won their first two games, and they had another game that was kind of an exhibition game that they ended up playing JV kids that they lost, but they're doing really well. We're actually having to leave early. We got to get back to Colorado. Caden has some stuff this weekend he can't miss. So
We'll get back here and not a good hot weather. Yeah, I think
it's like 100 degrees today. It's really hot.
My grandson's
High
playing
100
too. 105. Wow.
Just a real quick too before we move on. I know SSA is working on getting some of the additional data that you're looking for, Carolyn and others on the board. So hopefully we'll have more to come on that in the future.
Awesome, thank you.
Great, thanks, Mitzi. We approved the audit, the campus services. Rob, any updates for just that meeting?
We didn't have a meeting this week or.
Rob, I know you do a lot at the airport. Are you in charge of those huge crowds out there? I mean, I'm going out Saturday, so did you keep that resolved?
Why aren't you paying TSA? We don't get it.
That picture just gave me heart anxiety just looking at that crowd. So can you work on that?
Well, first of all, I'm surprised you're not flying private.
That's
the first mistake.
I'm unemployed. But just look at that as
I got you.
But just to have a report, we'll do in executive session. Community benefits, no meeting this week. Ernest, anything?
No, just the meeting on April 8th. The next meeting's on April 8th.
Any questions? Okay, all set. Public comment, do we have anybody on the line?
You just members, yeah, just staff members, so no,
Okay.
we do not.
Any public comment?
No. we're
Okay,
good to move on.
we're done.
You need to tell Kelly to turn his fan off, so he doesn't look like a propeller head. You're getting a freaking migraine.
Hey, Kelly, the optical illusion that fan above your head is causing Steve to go a little bit more easier than he normally is.
I will
Getting a migraine.
Just
set it off.
a little bit of distraction, yeah. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, public comment is closed. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? Second. Bart?
Pursuant to, section 24-6-402, sub 4 B, and F. The Board of Directors of the National Western Center Authority desires to go, into executive session to conduct certain business relative to any legal advice, personnel matters, procurement matters, and matters related to negotiation of staff members. Proceedings will be held confidential, but the session is being recorded, and the recording will be maintained in the books and records of the National Western Center Authority as required by law. And this statement is being made according to law. And we request that everything that was discussed in this session be held very confidential, because there are personnel issues being discussed. There will be procurement matters being discussed. It's very important to keep those confidential for the record and for the market. That's why we preserve the recording of the session, so that if the public at any time wants to look at it, there are legal mechanisms for the public to do so. So with that, are there any questions before Chair asks for a vote?
Okay, we have a second, a motion, a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we have Nicole here just in time for executive session. We are now out of executive session and we need to vote on the one item, for Jessica, correct?
Yes. We need to bring data back in from.
Oh, yeah. Correct. You know, it's the furniture vote. You're up. She'll be back by the hour. Next one.
You can't tell.
Close.
Great.
All right. So that's.
Very good stuff. One day.
Okay, so I got, that's, no, we can see what's on here.
So we have to.
Okay,
March free.
Steve, okay, so who wants to make the motion on the,
You moved, didn't you? Or no, that was executive.
yeah, we're out of executive session. What is the specific motion that we need for,
Yes.
for the furniture?
You need the, do you have a recommendation from CSP or, CSP on this? Or the-
Yes.
Yeah, so-
Just going to send around the spreadsheet asking the CSB to approve. She got written approvals and recommendations from the CSP. So that committee has recommends to the board that the procurements announced today be approved by the board. So we need to have a motion to approve the procurements as proposed. Second, any discussion, and then a vote.
So moved.
Procurement recommendation. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, great. Anything else for this meeting? Good meeting today. Lot down.
We had 13 board members here today.
Yeah.
We're supposed to adjourn at 10:15, Mr. Chair.
What did you?
You supposed to adjourn at 10:15, that's the right here.
So, I don't see the rest of that. But Lex, you gotta change that.
Oh, Alexa, keep it.
Lexi, I've been going to like 3 in the afternoon, like in and out at 11.
You got it.
Okay, for-